Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Friday, the 26th of September 2025, the year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai or your post put on chain. Right, let's see what we've got today. Again, just some articles that we've got to go through on my feed relating to digital ID and all the shit that's coming along. Socialism ideas so good they have to be mandated. We've got some whale alerts up here. Look, there is a large amount of BTC being moved. Look at this, 2,500. That is $274 million. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 lots of those. That's $1 billion. Another one. Huge amounts being moved. My jeepers. What could possibly be going on? Cointelegraph says a UK finance pilots tokenize sterling deposits with 6 major banks. What on earth could be going on there, including Barclays, HSBC and Lloyds Banking Group? Something's going on. And thank you to Degan, we are finally on the Terranode testnet. This looks absolutely awesome. Look at this. The network, or peer-to-peer. Let's have a look at that. So this is that's Ziggy's Terranode, Galt's. There were a few others in there. I think they might. There were loads of blocks coming through earlier. Loads and loads I was looking at. Last block here was 639. We're now 841. So they may have stopped. Yeah. So testing. Stopped for a little bit. More testing. But the fact is, we're on it now. We could see it. Thank you very much to Degan. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. Seeing us, watching the network in action. Yeah, these are all node statuses. Oh, mining on. We'll see some blocks being propagated sooner or later. And then obviously we'll just go through the figures, some 365 days of Bitcoin history, and then we'll finish with the Kellenschweller countdown. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terranode, you'll surely see.
All right, here we go. So yeah, I don't know if people remember this advert, but I found it. I was just like, whoa, I couldn't believe it. Here we go. Turn the volume up on that bad boy. So this is why we love digital ID and CBDC, because it's the complete control package. Here we go. Oh, in fact, I think I've got this on, I'm sure I've got this on Rumble. Let's have a look, see if that works. Here we go. Can we expand that screen?
Request an emergency digital passport without... Hello everyone, meet Lucy, student in psychology, and me, her digital ID wallet issued by the government to offer a wide range of identity services. In fact, I'm a handy way of proving and protecting her identity both online and face-to-face. Let's have a closer look at what I can do. I can help governments to better communicate with citizens. Right now, I'm reminding Lucy of the appointment she needs to schedule for her mandatory vaccination.
We all love those.
time to go to her exam. Lucy is a bit stressed out. I'm here to make it easy for her to prove she is the right candidate, with a quick and secure connection between her phone and the examiner's. Exam passed successfully. Quick stop at the doctor's before celebrating, and no time to lose. On the way, Lucy uses me to declare her passport lost. She needs it for her upcoming road trip. No issue. She can request an emergency digital passport without having to go to the authority office. I make official admin a lot smoother. And that's not all. I can also help Lucy request a birth certificate, pay her taxes, or prove who she is when onboarding to new services, such as opening a bank account.
Because we all love paying taxes. Oh, good grief, what is the world coming to, eh? And the best Keir Starmer can do is say, yes, but it's free. Great, bit like your vaccine, yeah? Free, nice one, you should get it. Because it's free, it's a benefit to you. Yeah, all right, mate, nice one. Yeah, check this out. So, Song Quinank said here, Chinese health officials go from door to door to check families have a valid vaccine passport or not. If you get caught with an expired vaccine passport, you either your entire family will get sent off to a quarantine camp. I mean, this is where it's headed. Absolutely insane. Socialism. Ideas so good they have to be mandatory. Of course, you know, because they're so amazing. Right, brilliant. This was absolutely hilarious. This was quite a few people sent me this. This is a rap song that's been done by someone taking the piss out of Keir Starmer.
Citizens of Britain, the age of freedom is over. With the Brit card, you will be scanned, tracked and judged at every turn. No work, no rent, no pint of lager without my approval. They told you it was for immigration. Liars! It is for control. Your bank accounts, your movements, even your thoughts will belong to me. Welcome to Checkpoint Britain.
Brit card. Obey!
Like, I'm only laughing because I'm just so horrified by the entire thing. Check this out though. So Leondius said here, more leaked messages from Luke Dash Jr. regarding his plans to hard fork Bitcoin in order to censor ordinals and runes. So let's see what they've got here. Luke Dash Jr. said, the difference is that only you, not the whole network, it only becomes sanctioned data storage method if it's broadly accepted as such. I'm not a lawyer, but my understanding is that there are some drafting a public letter covering this. Thinks it's better if the letter not be perceived as coming from us. So I think he's staying out of it actually. More skullduggery behind the scenes, trying to cover his tracks. What's this? I'm trying to come up with mitigation strategies for the CSAM. What's that? Is that gets weird? So my thought is either a block. I don't know where I can read that better. So my thought is either a block is identified as having CSAM, flag that one transaction and use to ZPK or ZKP for it. Technically a hard fork, but since it's buried, should be safe. Probably would have multi-sig off on each ZKP. I mean, right now, the only options would be Bitcoin dies or we have to trust someone. ZKP is strictly better. Said, no, I mean, just ensure ZKP are only trusted, used when right people say they ought to be. Brilliant. So again, back to third parties. It is just so ridiculous. So ridiculous. They don't know what they're saying. They don't know what they've done. They have absolutely effed it up. All you had to do was increase the block size, but they fell for that BS narrative. They fell for that. Talking about BS narratives, Honestly, you've got to have a listen to this. This is absolutely insane. Here we go.
Because if it were, you would be keeping these women in. Instead, you are the one injecting culture wars into the military, and it's at the detriment of our military readiness and national security. Now, General Kane, I'd like to turn to you.
So to be clear, these are men who think they're women.
These are women. I'm happy to educate you on
But these are men.
on trans
and so
issues at another
what we've
time.
identified is that there's mental health issues with that belief system.
I'd like to turn to
that
General
are
Kane
detrimental
now.
to readiness, and that's the determination that we've made and that we stand behind. Gender dysphoria.
And so you don't,
complications.
because if it were,
She's the one. So she's trying to say that men and women, like, honestly, absolutely effing ridiculous. They're either one or the other. Casey Atkins said here, not happy with the COPA ruling and noticing some obvious lies and deceits. I loaded up our good old friend ChatGTP, fed it some data and asked it to analyze and compare. Make of this what you will, as it could be pure coincidence. Oh, do we get to see this summary of findings? Case analysis overview. We analysed 24 cases in which James Edward Justice Miller was involved, either representing the plaintiff or defendant. These cases spanned a variety of industries, primarily in technology, telecommunications and intellectual property law. The key facts, all 24 companies in these cases were supported by BlackRock and Vanguard, the two largest institutional investors globally. 11 cases resulted in wins for plaintiffs, companies backed by BlackRock and Vanguard. 8 cases resulted in wins for defendants, companies backed by BlackRock and Vanguard, and 4 cases ended in settlements with no clear winner, though institutional influence may have played a role in renegotiating settlements. 2 observations on company backing and case outcomes. Institutional influence. Every single company involved in these cases was heavily backed by BlackRock and Vanguard. These institutional investors are known for having substantial sway over corporate strategies, potentially influencing legal decisions through financial leverage and strategic direction. Winning and losing parties. Whether plaintiffs or defendants, the winning companies in each case have significant institutional support from BlackRock and Vanguard, both of which manage trillions of dollars. This pattern of institutional involvement raises the possibility that these entities might shape litigation outcomes, even indirectly. Cases in which companies won, either as plaintiffs or defendants, could reflect a strategic alignment between the legal outcomes and the interests of institutional investors. Settlements in cases that were settled, such as Apple versus Qualcomm and Google versus Oracle, it's reasonable to assume that institutional investors played a role in the negotiation process. Settlements often happen where financial interests like those of BlackRock and Vanguard guide companies towards resolving litigation without risking future public battles. 3. Potential conflicts of interests and a suspicion of influence. Wow, getting juicy. Conflict of interest. James Miller has represented companies supported by BlackRock and Vanguard in many cases, both for plaintiffs and defendants. The frequent institutional backing suggests a potential alignment between his work and the interests of these investors. While Miller's role as a judge implies impartiality, the prevalence of institutional investors in the cases he worked on raised questions about potential unseen influences. Even if Miller himself isn't directly involved with BlackRock or Vanguard, the sheer power and influence of these investors in the companies that Miller represents raises suspicions about whether their interests are being prioritized consciously or unconsciously in the courtroom. Suspicion of indirect influence. Given the dominance of institutional investors, BlackRock Vanguard, these companies might be strategically positioning themselves in litigation to secure favourable outcomes that align with their financial interests. Miller could potentially be guided, whether intentionally or indirectly, by these institutional players who have the ability to steer directions, especially in high-stakes cases that involve large tech companies, patent disputes and corporate power struggles. Secret conspiracy theory. While there's no direct evidence that Miller is conspiring with BlackRock or Vanguard, the pattern of outcomes does suggest a relationship between institutional interests and litigation results. It's possible that institutional investors might exert influence over corporate strategies and, by extension, legal strategies, ensuring that litigation outcomes align with broader business goals. The frequent settlements and the consistent institutional support from both plaintiffs and defendants raise the question of whether Miller's decision in these cases might be part of a broader network of influence that steers the litigation in ways that benefits the financial interests of these massive investment firms. No shit, Sherlock. Whoa, even ChatGTP knows. Conclusion. After analysing the 24 cases, the evidence suggests a pattern of institutional influence tied to BlackRock and Vanguard. Mellor's representation of these companies, all of which have large institutional backing, raises the possibility that corporate strategies influenced by these investors may have extended into the litigation process, potentially shaping case outcomes. Key conclusions include: every company involved had institutional backing from BlackRock and Vanguard, ensuring that the outcome of the case could be indirectly swayed by these entities' financial goals. Mellor's role in representing such companies could indicate an indirect alignment with their strategic interests, though it's impossible to conclude direct conspiracy without further evidence. Settlement and win-loss patterns suggest that institutional investors like BlackRock and Vanguard might influence settlement negotiations, especially in high-profile cases with substantial financial stakes. While it cannot be definitively stated that Mellor is acting with malicious intent, the indirect influence of BlackRock and Vanguard over the outcomes of these cases is a significant concern. The combination of institutional dominance, frequent legal victories, and large-scale settlements creates a complex situation where the line between impartiality and institutional influence may be blurred. Would you like to investigate further into any specific case or discussion possible? Next step, such as how these patterns could be leveraged or examined in further future litigation. Whoa, that was massive. Nice one there, Casey Atkins. Can you believe it? Hot stuff. Hot stuff. Not really unbelievable when you actually know what's going on. BSV Bitcoin is the only way. 10 posted here. I'm not worried about global warming, but I'm terrified about global government. Yeah, absolutely, as we all should be. The Bitcoin B, this is hilarious. I was kind of like laughing, sweating here. He said the ammo, they're known for their sarcasm. The ammo company unveils new giant shell casing with more room for left-wing terrorists to write out all their motives in detail. Oh my god. Oh my god. And check this out. So this is coming to the UK soon. I said get off Facebook now. It's been planned all along. This was the White Rabbit podcast, Nicola Charles. She said breaking massive breaches of privacy in Australia. Facebook users denied access without live video facial recognition. Absolutely outrageous. Literally, George Orwell's 1984. Here we come, and again, people have got their lives on Facebook. You know, they thought that their photos and their family albums and all that were safer on there than they were in a, you know, on the hard drive or on their, you know, old photographs. But no, they've now captured them. They've done it on purpose. Ah, jeepers. Right, let's go on to this whale alert then. That's 18 minutes away. We'll quickly go through this. Look. 2000 BTC representing $220 million moved from Kraken to unknown wallet, and then another 2,500 just transferred from unknown to unknown. Another 2,500 unknown to unknown. I mean, who needs to move 200 over $250 million in one go? Yeah, this is kind of like massive industry. But the amounts wouldn't be exactly spot on like this. This is literally somebody just shifting them. Absolutely massive. 2,280. Another like $250 million. Jeepers. Just crazy, man. Crazy numbers. Crazy numbers. Right, let's have a look at Cointelegraph. They said UK finance pilots tokenized sterling deposits with 6 major banks. UK Finance launched a tokenized deposits pilot in partnership with 6 major banks, including Barclays, HSBC and Lloyds Banking Group. UK Finance, a trade association representing over 300 financial service firms in the United Kingdom, has launched a joint plot to protect a pilot project for tokenized sterling deposits, GBTD. The trade group began the pilot phase of the tokenized deposit project, which aims to provide a digital representation for traditional British pound commercial bank money, it announced on Friday. The pilot was launched in collaboration with 6 major banks operating in the UK, including Barclays, HSBC, Lloyds Banking Group, NatWest, Nationwide and Santander. UK Finance plans to run the pilot until mid-2026 and aims to explore benefits to customers, businesses and the UK economy, targeting greater control over payments, fraud prevention and more efficient settlement process. Quant Network to provide infrastructure. Oh my god, you're kidding me. What a joke. UK Finance's GBTD infrastructure will be provided by Quant Network, a UK headquartered platform specialising in blockchain interoperability. There we go again, absolute bollocks. Quant's involvement builds on its successful delivery of the first phase of the Regulated Liability Network, a UK-led initiative for sharing ledger-based financial market infrastructure, which UK Finance launched in 2024. The RLN project engaged all 6 banks participating in the GBTD initiative, along with other major financial institutions, including Citi, MasterCard, Standard Chartered, and Virgin Money and Visa. 3 major use cases. Among the cases, the GBTD project will test 3 main areas: online market payments, remortgaging processes, and wholesale bond settlements. According to Quant founder and CEO Gilbert Verdian, the project goes beyond improving payments and is about enabling new forms of programmable money that will fundamentally transform how value is moved and managed. Give me a break. UK FCA to launch crypto regulations in 2026. Hopefully that might be too late for them if Terranode is launched by then. All right, let's hope so. Let's hope the world wakes up to all the nonsense. And talking about the world waking up, like, check this out. Degan sent this through. So here we are. We've got Terranode, the dashboard. So this is the dashboard. 24 hours. Let's see if they've got more transactions coming through. No. That was 6 hours. Block viewer. The last block was 1 hour 22 minutes ago. Yeah, age 1 hour 22. Block reward 50. That would be 50 bitcoins. 652 transactions. Let's have a look at this. Show local messages. Raw. JSON. So what they showed a moment ago were the different nodes processing different transactions using subtrees. It was actually looking really quite fascinating, but it looks like they're not producing blocks right now. But it was just fascinating to watch. Fascinating to watch. When you realise what we're actually witnessing here, this is history in the making. The boys over at the Terranode team have done absolutely amazing, solving the unbounded scaling problem, or the horizontal scaling problem, that has never been done before in the history of the world. In terms of the digital stuff, like, absolutely sensational. I just love looking at it. It's like, what's going on? What's going on? You can see it. So these are all the different peers. So we can see Connor, Satoshi.io, Degan in the middle, Brendan, Galt Gush, Babbage is on there, Ziggy. Yeah, although nothing's really moving at the moment. Nothing is going on right now. Subtree, there we go. See that one saying Subtree? Mining on. What can we see here? Yeah, so they're not processing any transactions. But earlier, this thing was absolutely flying. There we go. You can see the odd subtree there. So you've got these. I'm assuming you've got the different nodes processing transactions on the various different subtrees, and then all communicating with one another. And it's that subtree structure that would then be put in a block. Amazing. Looking forward to that. Right, let's have a quick look at the figures. In $23 again, the cabal are shit in it. You know, they literally all they can do is push the price down, but that's all they can do. There's nothing else. Transactions still 48% winning. Block size 76% winning. Nothing to write home about on chain there really, but 85,000 times cheaper. And even when it's 85,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gregcoin, it is still 1.8% more profitable to mine on Bitcoin. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Let's have a look at the politics in the pie charts, because that's where it is. Global hash rate 7 days, 24 hours. Gregcoin hash rate other miners 6.94. B crash other miners 13.8. Fisher price cash other miners 55. And CoinDart's not showing the figures, but let's have a look at what's on chain. 456,000 transactions over the last 24 hours. Let's just have a look at the not memory pool mining stats. There we go. 24 hours. Tal in the front 24.2. Mining Dutch 17.1. QD Link 16.4. Coup 15.7. Gorilla Pool 13.57. Well done them. And SA 100 being squeezed into last. Squeezed down to 12.1. And then we've just got Terranode having a brief look in there. Yeah, BitInfo chart says 456,732 transactions in the last 24 hours. That takes us into fourth place, but fourth place on the utility. On the utility pie chart, and yet like ranking down into 100 on the coin market cap. Look, BTC, that's taken a nosedive as well. $109,000. Oof. Down and down we go. Ooh, like a month, heading towards a monthly low. Let's have a look at Bitcoin, see where we are. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Was that like a historic low? Like literally. Oh, $22.97. It went sub $23. 24-hour low. $22.96. Can you believe it? Let me know if you got that. Like, whoa. Amazing. Who was it that sharpshooted that price at $22.96? That is crazy. That is great. That's amazing. That's amazing. So Huobi and CoinDCX apparently most volume. I just, that's got to be just the trading bots doing that. Liquidity is what you really want though. Although it's the volume that sets the price. Yeah, but again, you've just got trading bots saying, "Oh, I'll give you 20p for that. I'll give you 21 cents for that. I'll give you 19 cents for that." Just effing around with the market. Literally effing around. They won't be able to do it when they haven't got anything to play with. It's literally just artificial manipulation. The price is an absolute gift right now. An absolute gift. Crazy. 365 days of Bitcoin history. We've just got an email. So bookkeeping from the Marty Malmy selection. Email number 233. Amazing. Right. So we are now the 26th of September. We're over a week since the Kellenschweller countdown finished. We're now on the count up. We're going to be counting up to the conundrum of this Kellenschweller countdown. It's going to be absolutely amazing. You're not going to want to miss anything that happens between now and then. I shall let you know when it happens. So until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
The king still has one more move.